The Boston Celtics just traded a Finals MVP for a 36-year-old on one of the worst contracts in the league, and rival GMs are calling it highway robbery. And somehow, that is not even the biggest move of this offseason. The last few weeks have been the wildest stretch of player movement the NBA has seen in years. 5 superstars have already switched teams, and the biggest name of all, LeBron James, still has not even picked where he is going. Let's rank the 5 stars who just changed uniforms, from the surprising to the seismic. Number 5. Ja Morant, headed to the Portland Trail Blazers. Just a few years ago, Ja was one of the most electric players on the planet, a 2-time All-Star with a real case as a future face of the league. Then came the injuries and the off-court issues, and his stock fell so far that Memphis moved him to Portland without getting a single draft pick back. Let that sink in. A guy who was nearly an MVP candidate dealt for a couple of role players and nothing else. Now here is the problem. Portland already had a crowded backcourt, and Ja is walking into a logjam with Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, and Scoot Henderson all fighting for the same minutes. There is barely any shooting or front-court help around them. This is a fresh start Ja badly needed, but the fit in Portland is genuinely strange. Quick one before we keep going. If you're enjoying the breakdown, do me a favor and smash that like button. Number 4. LaMelo Ball, off to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Charlotte finally gave up on the LaMelo experiment, shipping him to Minnesota for Naz Reid and a pile of draft picks. And on paper, what the Wolves just built is electric. They are pairing LaMelo, a 20-point, 7-assist guard who finished second in the entire league in threes made, with Anthony Edwards. That is the number 1 and number 3 picks of the 2020 draft, together, in one backcourt. The upside is obvious. 2 young, explosive shot makers who can light up a scoreboard in a hurry. The risk is just as obvious. LaMelo has never been a real defender, he has battled to stay healthy, and now you're asking 2 ball-dominant guards to share the same ball. If it clicks, Minnesota is must-watch. If it doesn't, it could get ugly fast. Number 3. Kawhi Leonard, going home to the Toronto Raptors. This one hits different. Kawhi is heading back to the exact franchise he delivered a championship to in 2019, the only title in Raptors history. The Clippers sent him to Toronto for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and a stack of picks. And do not let the age fool you. When Kawhi is on the floor, he is still one of the best players alive. He averaged a career-high 28 points a game last season, and since coming back from that ACL tear, he has shot over 40% from 3, right there with Steph Curry over the same stretch. The only real question with Kawhi has ever been availability, not talent. If he stays healthy, the Raptors just quietly became one of the scariest teams nobody is talking about. This is a group that already won 46 games last season around young star Scottie Barnes, and Kawhi gives them the number 1 scorer they have been missing since the day he left. Real quick, drop a comment and tell me which of these moves shocked you the most. I'm reading them. Number 2. Jaylen Brown, traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is the one that broke the internet. The Celtics took Jaylen Brown, the 2024 Finals MVP, a guy who just finished 6th in MVP voting, and shipped him to Philadelphia for a 36-year-old Paul George and a couple of picks. One NBA general manager called it flat-out highway robbery. The grades were brutal. An A+ for Philly, a disaster for Boston. But forget Boston for a second and look at what Philly just built. Brown joins Tyrese Maxey, one of the best young scorers in the league, and a healthy Joel Embiid. That is a genuinely frightening trio, and it is the same Sixers team that just came back from down 3-1 to knock Boston out of the playoffs. The Celtics clearly wanted out of the Jaylen Brown business for their own reasons. But trading a Finals MVP still in his prime for an aging George on a giant contract is going to look rough for a very long time. And number 1, the move that started it all, Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat. Before any of these other dominoes fell, the Bucks traded a 2-time MVP and a top 3 player in the world to Miami. And that is the deal that kicked off this entire crazy summer. We broke the whole thing down in its own video, so I will keep it quick here. A healthy Giannis next to Bam Adebayo gives the Heat one of the most terrifying front courts in basketball, and it lifts them from a play-in team into a real title threat in the East. Of every star who switched teams this offseason, not one of them moves the needle like this. Giannis changes everything. So there is your list. Giannis, Jaylen Brown, Kawhi, LaMelo, and Ja. 5 stars in brand new places. And the league looks completely different than it did a month ago. And here is the crazy part. The single biggest name of all still has not decided. LeBron James walked away from the Lakers, and as of right now, he is weighing offers from the Warriors, the Cavs, the Heat, and more. With nothing locked in, wherever he lands, it might top this entire list. If you want to be here the second that news drops, hit subscribe. This offseason is nowhere near done.